was it.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's nice to meet you. How you doing today?
Good. How you doing? Nice to meet you too.
Wonderful. Where are you located?
I'm in Norwalk, Connecticut, right outside New York.
Okay, right on. Yeah, I'm in Kansas City, Missouri.
Nice.
Cool. Well, man, it's great to meet you. You have such an eclectic mix of things going on, you know? So I want, before we delve into the layers of who you are, I want to begin everything with the last 3.5 years or so living through COVID. How did you get through
Mhm.
it and how did it change you?
I mean, the whole thing was kind of strange. So,
Yes, it was.
um, I really too much. It didn't affect me that much, really, because the outside world, of course, affected me, but my day to day didn't really affect me that much because I work from home already. I have an office where I go meet clients. I was still doing those things.
Yeah.
Um, it affected me with court and stuff like that in a good way where I was doing a lot of Zoom trials. I had like 4 or 5 Zoom trials, which was odd,
Yeah.
but it was great because I was able to do them right from here, not having to go to court. Um, and Business was crazy too because a lot of people from New York were moving out from New York, coming up to Connecticut, so I was doing a lot of closings. So it of course it affected everyone's income in a little bit in ways. Um, but I got through it. It wasn't that crazy. It was not as bad as it could have been,
Yeah.
which I'm very grateful for.
Yeah.
It brought new technologies like this, Zoom, so that
Yes.
we could all use and make our lives easier.
Yes.
Um, the things that did affect, there's the face to face stuff is not as what it was before. For instance, I'm an actor
Yeah.
and a voiceover artist, so um, I used to go into the city a lot, New York City, to do auditions and things, and see colleagues and friends, and that that never happens now. Everything's done like by Zoom and tape and or recording. Um, the courts are just really starting now to get back into the swing of things. So even after COVID was over, I was still doing trials by Zoom. In fact, they still do small claim trials by Zoom
Yeah.
here. So, um, I used to, some of the stuff I see go in, and I could see colleagues and for the law side of things. Uh, but so that's changed. I think for not for the better.
Yeah. So you have so much going on paper. I mean, you're an attorney, you're an actor, you're a producer, you're a voiceover artist. But if I put you in front of a bunch of third graders at career day and one of the kids looked up and said, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How would you answer them?
Just like you said, I'm an attorney, I'm an actor, and I'm a producer. That's what I would tell them.
So
So
how did all of this happen? Take me back to where you were born and raised, and how did all these seeds, there's a real right and left brain thing that I see going on. How did all this become you?
Uh, so the right brain, the creative side, that's the right brain, right?
Yes.
The creative side was always there, but I never really used it that much when I was young. Um, I was more of a left brain side person. I got good grades in school, and I played sports, so that was my creative outlet.
Yeah.
Played sport. I still play sports. Um, and I became a lawyer first. So I went to law school, was practicing for 10 years or so. And then I saw an opportunity where I could take an adult education class for voiceovers. And I really didn't understand what voiceovers were. I thought it was just cartoon voices and stuff like that, but it's a lot more to it. So I took the class and I was like, hey, I love this. So that really touched my creative side, the right brain. And I had decided to continue on, do more education classes for in voice acting, and then I started doing on camera acting classes, and then I just started put myself out there, and I started booking things. The first thing I ever booked was an American Experience series on PBS,
Cool.
where I dubbed a couple of voices. So I started out on a national TV show right off the bat,
Nice.
and then I booked some background work on music and lyrics and Enchanted. In fact, Enchanted was just on yesterday. It was so funny because I got bumped up to a featured part. So that's kind of where it all started. it
Right
was just
on.
it was just on yesterday. By chance I saw it on Freeform Network, so I was
Very
watching
cool.
it.
That's great, man. So, who's been a hero for you? Who's been an inspiration for you in your life?
Um, my family definitely are inspiration. My dad, my mom, um, my spouse. In fact, it's a funny story I could tell you about how I got into more full time acting.
Yeah.
It was because of my spouse, my wife. I had I had started transitioning over doing voiceovers part time and acting part time. I was working full time for a law firm back then, and I was, working a lot of hours, 60 hours at least, probably 80. and I was like, I was not liking the grind of the job that much, right? And I was a typical low man on the totem pole, so they, last minute, hey, go cover this hearing. So be like, you know, you don't know what you're doing, and you're taking this file and you're going to cover it. So that's the kind of stuff I wasn't liking. So it was March. I remember that it was the month of March, and I think it was 2005 or 2006. I can't remember, but I had already used up all my vacation time for that year because I of auditions and jobs for acting. So I got an offer in to do 13 days of background work on Enchanted, Disney's Enchanted,
Yeah.
and I told my wife, I was like, "Oh, look, this is cool. I got this, Disney thing, but I can't do it." She's like, "Because I can't. I don't have any more vacation days. I don't have 13 days left." So
Yeah.
she's like, "Quit that job.
Yeah.
Quit that damn job. You hate that job." She goes, "If you do a Disney film, that's something we can show our grandkids. You got to do it. You got to take this. You got to take this opportunity because you may never get it again."
Sure.
So I went into, went into my
That's
work and I
excellent.
resigned and I started my own practice, which I still have right now. I mean, I was in practice before that, but then I went back to my own practice, which I'm still practicing right now on my own.
Yeah.
And the only thing that she said was, she's like, just pay the mortgage.
Yes.
That was it. That was her warning to me that if I wanted to do this, that I better make it work, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. That's a great story. So let me ask you this, you've obviously done voiceover work, you've been on a big scale, national TV, but if you can meet anybody alive on the planet right now and spend some time with them, who would it be?
anyone on the planet who's alive or
It-
past?
we could do both.
I mean, I've met a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of the people that I never thought I'd meet, I've met. So, um, who would I like to meet now? Well, the one person I haven't met that I would like to meet and spend time with is Billy Joel.
Yeah. I got a funny story. When I was a kid, he was related. My grandfather had a sister that was married to someone related to Billy Joel. It was like a second cousin thing. So we used to get autographs from him all the time when we were kids. My dad was
Nice.
from Long Island. He was up in Babylon and born
Okay.
in Brooklyn, raised up there. So that's where the concentration was. And Billy's from Long Island. So we used to get the autographs. So that gave us a lot of street credit when we were in grade school.
Nice. Yeah, I mean
So
his music influenced me
yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
I've listened to his music my entire life basically. So
yeah,
he's a guy that I'd love to. I just love his work ethic. He's still doing those shows in Madison Square
yeah,
Garden. Um, I love his music. I love him.
yeah.
So he'd be a guy I'd love to talk to and hang out with. So
And it's interesting. I have a jazz radio show and I interviewed Carl Fisher, his trumpet player, and I didn't realize that he played the last night of Shea Stadium, the last night it was open, and opened up the new Shea Stadium, which is pretty cool. So
yeah,
let's dig into your sports history. Let me ask you this: if you could see one sporting event with your own eyes, go back in time and see anything in the history of sports, where are you going?
I would love to see Franco Harris's immaculate reception live.
Yeah.
The Steelers, because I'm a Steeler fan, so I would love to see that play live. I saw it. I can't remember if I saw it live on TV or not. I may have been a little young, but
Yeah.
I've seen the replays a million times. So
Yeah. Yeah. So are you a Mets fan?
I'm a Red Sox fan
Okay,
for
gotcha.
American League, and yes, I like the Mets in the National League. So
Okay, cool. So what is your motivation every day? What gets you out of bed? What gets you to do the work that you do and to ultimately be who you are?
um, it's really not that hard for me to get out of bed. I have stuff that's going on every day. That's that's different. So motivation is my family for sure. My wife and my children. That was one of the reasons why I decided to do what I do.
Yeah,
And I like to set a good example for them, and they're all successful themselves now. So that definitely keeps me going for
yeah,
sure. And just I love turning over rocks and trying to find stuff.
yeah,
So you know what I mean. I still have that playfulness now. I'm not. I definitely am not in a get up every day same rut kind of thing. So
yeah,
I don't know. Every day, each day could be. It could be doing law. It could be doing voiceovers. It could be doing acting. It could be doing anything. I don't really know what's gonna what's
yeah,
gonna happen from day to day.
for
So
sure. Yeah. So of all of the work that you've done professionally, what's been the best response you've gotten? Best fan letter, best success?
I was in a Super Bowl commercial.
Oh, yeah,
That's definitely been the biggest response that I've gotten. It actually aired before the Super Bowl too. It aired on the national um, the NFC Championship game. So
yeah,
it was kind of a surprise. We didn't know that it was going to be air. They were going to use it before, but they put it on the air early. And I remember my phone just blowing up, like completely blowing up. Like, what is going on? And then I realized that the commercial was airing. So um, that was definitely opened the most doors for me, and it also a lot of it got me a lot of I felt I had my 15 minutes of fame.
yeah. So for context for everybody out there, what was the commercial?
It was called Chevy Happy Grad. So it was the one where um, my son comes out of the
Yeah.
house and he starts screaming, ah! Because there's a yellow Chevy parked in front of our house. But I'm the dad. We're giving him the mini fridge, and he's usually he's not even looking at us. He's screaming and running around and the best gift ever. So that was the commercial. It was really
That's cool.
it was really good.
That's cool.
So
I'll have to find it on YouTube and put it in the show notes.
you'll find
Yeah,
it for sure. Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
just Chevy Happy Grad. It's all over the place. It went viral because it also, I mean, it was a funny story just how he got there. It was a contest,
Yeah,
and originally it was they wanted to put it into the London Film Festival. That's what it was for. The producers of the commercial. That's what they did it. They did it for that.
yeah.
Chevy was doing something for London Film Fest, and then when they saw when they saw the commercial, they put it into the Super Bowl contest.
Wow.
So there was a lot of people that voted on it, and there was big viral campaign, and that's how it got there. So a lot of people were excited because they were both invested in it too. Because they had voted. So
Yeah,
they're like, yeah, it won. So that
that's
was
cool.
also part of the excitement. So you'll definitely find it. It's
Yeah,
it's in more than one spot, I'm sure.
yeah, and I'm sure I have memories of those, which are pretty brilliant commercials whenever you do that timeline and kind of show the father, son, father, daughter kind of thing. So, um, besides your family, of all of the things that you've done in your career, what are you the proudest of?
Uh, I'm probably proudest of my a book that I wrote called Voiceover Legal.
Yeah,
It was a number one bestseller on Amazon. It still is in the top 10. And it's the book that all any voiceover artist that wants to learn the legal or business side of voiceover, they go to that book. So
yeah,
that's probably my probably I'm most proud of that. I would say. I mean, I've
yeah,
done so many short films and feature films that it's hard to pick one. But I think just my growth. I'm also proud of that because I remember that when I first started. acting, to now, like major difference.
Yeah.
And so, you know, the fact that I can grow, I started late in life, and the fact that I could grow to where I got now, and it's people comment on it too.
Yeah.
Professionals comment on it. It's not just in my mind.
Yeah. Right.
So that proud of that too.
Yeah. So let's say you have a dream tonight. You run into a 20-year-old version of you, and you could give that version of you a piece of advice based on the wisdom you've gained up to this point. What advice would you give your younger self?
Um, that's tough because I never had any regrets about anything.
Yeah.
So I would just maybe say to, I guess I was a little apprehensive about jumping into the arts arena
Yeah.
because if I was always told that that's not stable and it's hard to make money there, that kind of thing. So maybe I would tell myself to jump in a little earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jump in when you're a kid and just go for it, and
Yeah.
let the other stuff work out. But you do need to balance it.
Yeah.
You need to have some kind of way to generate income
Yeah.
while you're learning your craft, because it is really hard
Yeah.
to earn money. I mean, it's possible, but it's hard. So
Yeah.
you need a way to balance it to finance your craft. So
For sure.
that I learned being older.
Yeah.
So you know what
Right.
I mean. So it's
Yeah.
it's if I started earlier, who knows? Who
Yeah.
knows what would have happened. So
Yeah. So, Rob, everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, colleagues, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
um, I think I am dependable. People come to me and ask questions about things, get advice, and I think that's really me. I try. I don't want to let anyone down. You know, I uh, I want to be dependable and a loyal friend. If I get a friend, I don't. I stick with them no matter what happens.
Yeah,
So
right on. So, Rob, if anyone wants to see your work, reach out to you, hire you, anything about your world, where's the best place for them to go?
uh, I have a few websites. Rob Sig ROBSCIGESQ.com. That's my law site. Or robertpaglia.com is my acting site. So, and I'm on IMDb. So, I mean,
Okay.
it's really easy to find me. It's just Google me.